Eric Pearson.
When you find something that moves, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I have no idea what they do in this studio when I'm not here. Microphones like 3 different directions.
You think they're solving the world's problems in there, or are they creating more problems?
I'm not sure. Jay.
I think they're solving the world's problems.
I'm not sure.
At least all Nebraska problems.
Okay,
We should.
that would be fair.
Why don't you give us the Nebraska spring starting lineup for the spring game? How about that? You got that in your mind, Sip? Here he goes. He's dialed in, folks.
He's locked in.
Spring starting lineup?
Yeah.
I could I can't do that for the offensive line.
What about for defense?
Not that hard.
What about DBs?
Ty Robinson. Okay, up front on defense, Ty Robinson, Caleb Tanner, Garrett Nelson, Nash Hutmacher. I don't know if you'll see Casey Rogers.
Heinrich and Reimer. What about DBs?
DBs? Okay, I'll take a stab at DBs. Quentin Newsom.
Okay.
You're going to have a battle between Tommy Hill and Marcus Buford on one side. On the other corner side,
Yeah.
I think Miles Farmer be a safety. And I'd say, Deshaun Singleton, Noah Pollock Gates battling for that other one.
Tough. There's no easy sleeping nights, right?
No. I think on the offense, you'll see new guys, Trey Palmer, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda.
Yeah. You got Xavier Betts, you got Omar Manning.
Those guys.
You got Thomas Fedoni.
Yep.
And then you got Baby Gronk. Baby Gronk might be inspired. You got his dad coaching now.
Baby Gronk isn't going to play in the spring though.
Yeah, but you got his dad coaching.
Yep. Yeah.
Getting some home cooking meals too. I mean,
that helps.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Home
out there like
cooking's
Lou.
good.
You're gonna be out there like Lou Ferrigno or whatever, right?
All right, now you got to get back to your show. I didn't want to hijack your show.
No,
What are you talking about? Hijack? Have at it.
Sip. When people get you around, man, it's just we just gotta just ask you questions.
Yep. Well,
you know everything.
I know quite a bit.
The people love you, Sip.
That's debatable. Did you hear Kevin yesterday call in and call me a hypocrite? Hello.
About what?
We're not DP. We're not going to talk about it.
Hey, Sip. Do people
We'll talk about it off air.
Sip. Do people come up to you in public and get after you a little bit?
No, not get after me.
I mean, or just talk to
They
you?
shower me with praise.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I had a friend of Rachel's once. This is gonna get you a big head. A friend of Rachel's once was just like, wait, Rico works with Sipple? That's so awesome.
It is. Isn't it though? Did you
Sipple.
tell her? Yeah,
I was like,
amazing.
It's
amazing.
Okay.
Sipple, I was told that you're the Peter King of the Midwest. That we need we need to pinch ourselves every time that we're in your presence.
Don't do that to Sipple.
I'm just telling you.
We should avoid direct eye contact.
Don't do that.
With Sipple. We need to cover our eyes.
DP keeps it real with me in the media.
Don't do that, Sipple.
The glow
that
coming
Peter
off
King
of Sipple.
thing. Look, then he need to look over his shoulder, and then he's got to have somebody else. He's got to automatic start his car from the house.
Is that what Peter King does?
That's Dirk Chatlin.
Yeah.
Dirk Chatlin, boy.
Automatic start.
Hey, Dirk Chatlin be in and out of places quick.
Gone.
There are things you got to know.
He's gonna be a witness protection.
Disguises and everything.
Right? Yeah, he go out there. He wearing
He's
a
got
beard.
the glasses with the mustache.
Yeah,
so Dirk Chatlin's wearing whenever he goes anywhere.
We're about a week away from ramping up the spring ball discussion. Okay, Jay.
What about you going to basketball on Friday?
No, probably basketball on Sunday when Nebraska women play Minnesota. It's probably gonna be my first game.
How is that so?
See, DP, I'm telling you, keeps it real. I'm glad he's not my sports editor. I don't know, DP. My main job is football. That's my main job.
but you're a Husker, like you're through and through, and you're
he's
a big
not
part
really
of this,
though.
right?
He's not really a Husker. Though. He fell into sports. Simple to tell you, he's fell into sports.
Well, but I mean, he's here.
He's here now, and he
I'm
morphed
here.
into
He's
it.
around
He's
it.
here.
You're around it.
Yeah.
right?
All right, Sip. So since you're a football, we'll get you out on this. What's the one thing that we will learn or need to look for in or after spring ball?
Okay, I think that there's always the obvious quarterback discussion, but I think numero uno has to be what Donovan Raiola does up front on offense. What that offensive line, how it shakes out. It's complicated by the fact you're not going to have Teddy Prohaska or Turner Corcoran, which could be 2 of your starters.
But it's opportunity though for a lot of guys that hadn't played.
Yeah, and
Now,
you
do
better
you think-
figure out center. You better figure out center.
And do you
quickly.
think that the scheme change isn't bigger? Because essentially, if you have a more downhill double the three, blow people out of the water type of scheme, it kind of brings a lot of other cast of characters in there to compete, right? And then you can actually see some improvement of guys that maybe looked like they couldn't play dead last year at times.
Yeah,
Right.
All of that is part of the discussion, and now you will understand that discussion more. I will lean on you once spring ball starts because I don't see the practices.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be down there. I don't know anything right now. All I know is,
Simple.
is the energy.
Nothing Jay Foreman just said is true. Literally
Simple.
zero of what.
Simple. I'm gonna ask you this.
Zero of what that man just said.
Hey, Simple. I'm gonna
Why
tell
would
you.
you
Simple.
know some of
Simple.
it?
You know what? I'm gonna
Simple,
change
I'm gonna
my
tell-
nickname
I'm
for
gonna
the
tell-
Hall of Famer.
I'm gonna tell you this.
What are you
I'm
gonna
gonna
call him?
change my name
To
I'm gonna call him Incognito.
That's right. That's right. No, you do.
Like,
hey,
can I call him that too?
hey,
Can I call him
I'm
that?
not sure if I have to push the dump button. Or
No,
not.
you do not.
Enrique, get that
No,
dumb
you do
button.
not. Because if there's a fine, it comes to me, and I'm okay with it. Like that's
Hey.
one I earned.
Hey,
Right?
man, I just keep it real.
Hey, is that from
Simple.
Undercover Brother?
Hey, Simple. I'll just tell you this, man.
He just
Listen
called
here.
you incognito.
That's the truth.
like I'm not real. I'm never there.
Hey,
I'm never there. But
You
there's
rob
some
a
guy
bank.
there's some guy with a media pass called Faye Jorman, and he just shows up.
Hey, Leon Sandcastle.
That's
He's got the
Yeah,
afro.
you know.
You're pretty recognizable. You can't hide.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
You
you
can't
talk about.
It's simple. Let me tell you something. I got something up my sleeve because for some reason they had eyes on me and stuff. I got something up my sleeve
Hey, he's got that.
that they're not going to be able to handle me.
He's
Oh,
got
you know
that
what I mean?
Dirk Chatlin costume.
Yeah, just where's
That's
the
one of
I'm
the
gonna be
funniest
a-
things I've heard in a
I'm
long
gonna come
time.
out there with a Sammy Sosa face mask.
Yeah, like
He
that's the
look totally
way.
different.
Like he's gonna total like Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa.
Which Jay are
can't
you
do
a
it.
fan of?
Yeah,
Black
what-
Jay or white Jay?
Might go back to the
can't
bald
do- you
bald
can't
head
do-
suit.
You're
though.
way bigger than Sammy Sosa, too, by the way. I saw Sammy Sosa in Florida one time. I was shocked by how little he is.
A lot of those baseball players are
Little.
tiny. Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah.
I met him and it was
Bagwell's all legs.
yeah, but I thought
That's
when
why he had no strike zone because he had huge thighs and then like his upper body was the person of a 5'5" guy.
Baseball
And he
players.
just racking
Baseball
away.
players smaller than you think. Basketball players bigger than you think.
Yeah.
the only baseball player that I met that I was like, holy, you know what? This is a big dude was Frank Thomas.
Okay.
And the fact that he used to play tight end,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was thinking like, oh, he catches a flat route and come and turn on the sideline. You are making more than a business decision. I'm trying to just tap you out of bounds. There's no way. I mean,
no way.
no
Did you
way.
just say that?
yeah, I
you
mean,
say
some,
that?
Oh, he
some
was
he's
Frank's a different.
he's a different
species.
build. Yeah.
Like for me, it was back in the heyday of the Oakland A's when the Bash brothers were legit apexed, and at Camden Yards got to go down in the dugout, and McGuire and Canseco walked out, and I couldn't move.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
couldn't
didn't.
move.
I never got to
The
the
gravitational pull.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, like I couldn't move. It was like, wait, like I'm not generally impressed by like man size, but them dudes walk through and I question myself. Like, do I need to change what I'm eating? do I need to have to sleep more? Like, what do I need to do? And then I found out, well, what I really need to do is something else. But
I
for,
was gonna say, do I have to insert something into this
right,
conversation?
right. Like, but for like 30 seconds, I was questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I
can't even claim to be what they are.
I've seen Jose
Another different
Canseco before. I was more impressed with Frank Thomas because he's just he's just a big dude. He's just natural.
Yeah.
We were actually playing in Tampa one time in a preseason game, so we went to the mall. Jose Canseco showed up at the mall and got out of his car. He had like some Daisy Duke shorts on and like a tank. He must have just left the gym.
Now wait a second. Yeah, Daisy Duke shorts.
Yeah, just left the gym.
Oh yeah,
straight pumped, and but he didn't look. He was still. He's huge, but it was like,
Frank looked uncomfortable
Thomas,
in a baseball uniform.
Yeah,
that's how big he is. He looked uncomfortable. It was just like, oh no. I just painted on like a black jersey and the number. Like there's no shirt that would fit this.
Interesting.
So once spring ball starts, you all in. You don't go to. Do you go into baseball or anything?
Occasionally,
yeah,
but it's mostly spring football. DP. I mean, we just have basically 2 football writers, so I'm the backup beat writer, and I got to write some columns too. So
okay, well,
I can't spread myself too thin.
Simple.
I'm 55. DP.
I'm 59. What are you talking about?
You guys always get into this argument.
Like, what are you talking about?
They always.
I'm 59.
Simple.
What do you
tell them?
You're
Work
better
smarter,
shape.
not harder, right? You got Harley time. You need Harley time, right? That's
I
what
do
it is.
today.
I
got some Harley time.
am not going to disagree with
best,
that.
look,
Like, I am not going to disagree.
The best
with
part
that.
of when it gets warm out is when you go to call Sipple and he doesn't answer the first time. The second time he answers, and he's just like, "Yeah, sorry, I had to find a place to pull over. I'm riding the hog."
I got it, but I mean, my phone's on buzz. I can feel it buzzing.
So, Sip, one of these days, you and I are going to have to sit and decide what day of the week you're available from 10 to 11.
Okay.
Because I think the me and you one-on-one should happen. Well
Nice.
done,
Wow,
Mark.
Mark.
Mark Unweiler.
Station manager.
Just creating havoc.
Yeah, 10 to 11.
You know, it needs to happen. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Can we do that? Can we figure out what day
you're the
works?
boss.
No, I know I'm respectful of you. I mean, I can't spread you too thin, Sipple.
Stop it.
Thank you.
Stop
Hear
it.
that? That was respecting.
Yeah, I can't.
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't do this. So I need to know when it works.
Okay,
for
we will.
you.
We'll discuss this.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Thanks for having me on your show. Guys.
Thank you, bro. Anytime. Let's set the table. 424-645-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. If you want to add to the conversation or contribute, the live video streams up. Starter Heyman provides on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can see what's going on in the studio. Jay Foreman, Rico on a Tuesday where the buzz and the lead is Huskers women's basketball. Accomplishing a great thing, 19-6, 2 Big Ten wins over the top 2 teams in the conference, and a statement.
Nation.
And a statement. Look, this is a statement, program statement. Listen, Michigan came in here. They were on top of the Big Ten. Boom, take this L, get out of here. Here comes Indiana. You know what? They got us first time over there in Bloomington, but you know what? Take this L. As a matter of fact, both of y'all, you're going to take not only take a beating, you're going to take an expanded beating. I'm going to take you out of what you do,
Right,
and force you to reevaluate and reassess yourself. And then I want you to consider us as a legitimate threat to the Big Ten Conference Championship, right? Because even if they stay, this team stays in the 6th spot ish.
Yeah.
They're going to face a team at the top. The likelihood is that they're going to face a team they've already beaten.
right.
Unless it's Maryland, right? Like
Right.
like unless it's Maryland, you're going to get Michigan, Indiana,
So
Ohio State.
Nebraska's sitting 6th. Right above them is Iowa at 10-4 in the conference. Nebraska's 8-6. And Nebraska, let's just say, they went out. Iowa's next 2 games are at Indiana and hosting Indiana. Then they have Rutgers, and then they finish with Michigan.
So they're all going to be look. That
Nebraska
top
needs
group-
to
gonna
win
beat each
out,
other
and
up.
Iowa just needs to lose twice. Nebraska moves up to the 5 spot. And then you have
That's
Then
if
they would
win,
play
if
the-
they
yeah.
win out.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nebraska has to
I
win
mean,
out.
it's just it's still one game at a time.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who Nebraska plays because they can play against anybody and go out there and win. And so
I just don't want it to be Maryland.
You know what? I'd like to see him play Maryland again.
I want him to see him play again in the championship game.
Oh yeah, after a game or two.
Like,
But I would like to see them play Maryland, even if it's early, because I think because I watched a little bit of the Maryland Iowa game last night, and it was a pretty close game, right?
Wasn't
And
that fun?
yeah, but see, I think that was the first time Nebraska played a team that significantly, from a physical and size standpoint, different than every other team they had played up to that point. So there's a little bit of a shock when you're doing it, when you roll out there and you're all amongst the trees, right? So then I think you can go back and watch that game and see, okay, well, we had, these opportunities, and so we got to learn to play against it, because you go and say you get in a tournament and you play against the SEC team, even like a team that's like Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
That went toe to toe with South Carolina. South Carolina ended up winning by like 8 to 10 points.
Right.
But Kentucky's a big team. Usually Mississippi State is a big team. Obviously South Carolina is a big team, and UConn and so forth. So I like them playing whoever they need to play. I just think they need to keep doing what they're doing. I think they can play even better than they have been playing. I think they can, and they'll tell you. I still believe that they can all shoot the ball better, because they're taking good shots. They're not. The great thing fun thing about watching them is that none of the shots are like, well, of course there's some bad shots, because every coach will tell you, like, pretty much
That's
shot
not what we want.
Yeah, that's not what we want. But I guarantee you a high percentage of the shots that they've taken are shots that they can live with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In offense, not, there's been a couple quick threes or something like that, out of character, but it hasn't been for periods, long possessions or numerous possessions. So I like them any playing against anybody. I think that, Bella Cravens is starting to get your basketball legs back and timing back. I think, Alexis Markowski is playing consistent. But I think there's going to be a time where that they're going to need one or both at the same time. And you got Widener coming off the bench. I'm not comparing them directly, to one of my favorite basketball teams of all time, but I think about how the Detroit Pistons played, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had the ability to go out there and play against Showtime and score 100. Then they had the ability to beat you up in Jordan rules and win, 70 to 59. But I think when you think of Widener, I think of Vinnie Johnson, right? Off the bench, instant energy, instant, making buckets.
She bailed him out last time.
Right. And that's what you want. That's what you need in order to be well, because just because the starting five is out there, there's no guarantee everybody's going to be on their game. It might be a tight rim, or just shots aren't falling. That's just basketball. So when you come off the bench, you got to be ready to go. And the great thing about it is these young ladies come off the bench that are ready to contribute, but they're not playing outside of themselves. But then also let you know, while the game's going on and they're on the bench, they're in tune to the game and in tune to their teammates and in tune to the process and the purpose of winning.
The bench will tell you whether it's a good shot,
right?
Just from their motion,
because they know, and they know, and the expectation is to shoot good shots. But the thing is they're not on the bench talking about TikTok. You know what I mean? They're not tuned out. They're all tuned
although
in.
They did you caught Ruby Porter got a Valentine's proposal that they ran several times that she got caught looking up at. It was they put it on a big screen. Her teammates were like, somebody trying to hit you up, somebody shooting their shot. No, they go through the process.
Did the shot hit?
Of what they're gonna do. Well, she noticed it. She didn't say yes or no. So but
we need an update on that.
I give Duke credit for even trying. Right, like he took a shot.
We have connections. We need an update.
They choreograph. Ashley was telling the story that they choreograph what they're going to do in various situations and circumstances. So they're aware, and then importantly, Whitney Brown will tell them what they're going to do when they're going to do it.
Right,
and it falls in the line. I did notice a couple of things. So one, the announced attendance is 4,100.
So we're on an uptick.
You're an uptake, but
need more.
That building.
We need to be 5, 6, 7.
27%, 4,109.
Right. So like that's not.
We need that bad boy rocking.
Which again, against Was it Iowa? I'll have to check back again. There was
well, Michigan
Michigan
was the one that they lined it up and did their business.
Mm.
But I think from this 4,000 to me still seems light, especially at this
for
point.
this team. Yeah.
Like we know who this team
this
is
isn't
now,
this isn't a fluke,
right?
Yeah,
Like this is the not like this one is the one they're like, okay,
yeah. First one you can say it was all right. You got lucky, right? It was your night,
right?
No, this is right here. This is especially after not playing well against Maryland,
Right.
giving away a game against Ohio State. He kind of felt
is this the fan PTSD that they wanted to believe but were afraid to get hurt? And then
it's
this,
a little
this,
bit.
this
Then I
one
think it's a
kind
little bit of
allows-
laziness as well, and
Right.
I think it's they just think that don't be the bandwagon. When we're they go through a run and then you show up at the airport and after the season or whatever.
Like I've been here all
Look,
along.
there's only a few more games left and make time to go. Look, it's a good experience. You're gonna be able to get good seats. You're gonna see a good brand of basketball. If you ever had complaints of team basketball, effort, defense, rebound, you're gonna see it. And I'm gonna tell you this. One thing that Nebraska I think could have done a little bit better, especially towards like the middle of the fourth quarter. There's one possession, and I know they were long shots, but there was two different possessions where there was long shots where Nebraska gave up, in my opinion, too many offensive rebounds. A little bit of standing around. Those are the things that Coach Williams and her staff can get their attention. Yeah, we can celebrate about this win, but listen here, this is not us. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the free throw shooting has been the
free
thing that
throw
we've circled in the last 3 games.
Right, free throw shooting. Dealing with the pressure, the press kind of, razzle dazzle, kind of hectic. But then, just something that they can easily control because of their size and the way that they've rebounded.
Do you see the subtle adjustment of them bringing Sam Hyvee to the middle so
Yes.
that immediately when they're in press break, they're in transition?
Right, they're in transition.
Like,
And it
so you
worked.
got like a ball handler.
After
in the
the
middle
third time, it worked, and then they cashed in twice, and then Indiana,
was like-
all right, we're done.
They're like, nope.
Yeah, we're done.
We're gonna put this away. A couple of things to talk about, and I do want to get into it in the 9 o'clock hour. But a lot of this with this team is opportunity. And you mentioned matchups, and I do want to talk about that. So at 9 o'clock, we'll talk about this team
Sure.
and the matchups that are coming to them. Amy Williams, where she is, there was talk in the offseason that Amy should be fired. Again, it's that same stuff that you go, wow.
Everybody it's just weird that I'm assuming it's like this everywhere, but it seems that Nebraska, that's like your only answer. That's like your only answer.
That's why I want to change the narrative. Like that people are just
And in some cases it's warranted, but at some point in time, if I hire you in a leadership position, which coaching is, right?
Mhm.
It's up to you ideally to make some adjustments, right? And it's sometimes it's circumstance, right? I mean, look, we just had the Super Bowl. By no means did we ever know that Joe Burrow was going to end up winning the Heisman, being number 1 pick and taking his team to the Super Bowl when he wanted to come to Nebraska and he had never played at Ohio State, right? Did we know or could assume that we weren't going to get a consistent improvement at the quarterback position from a 4-year starter, right? That's what you don't. You just assume that. I mean, you assume and would like to know that it's going to happen, right? That you're going to get better play. You're not going to see the same mistakes at year 4 that you did 1, and that's just has nothing to do with coaching. That has to do with you're still throwing in and 5 different guys, right? And so if 5 guys are guarding 1, I can guarantee 2 guys are open. That's just a process of elimination because there's only 11 guys out there on the field. There's 4 receivers.
We could
get into all that stuff,
This
but
is where we get into it because for me, I'll say this: if a player on my team does a thing consistently, it's my job to coach him out of it.
Right.
If he's doing a bad thing consistently,
Right.
I'm paid to coach him out of it.
Right.
It's easy for me to say, well, he's just not slow enough, or he doesn't read quick enough, or whatever that thing is.
Sure.
But I think through all of it, what I love about this business, I'm never going to root for somebody to get a coach to get fired. Like
No, that's not
my space. Like that. That's not my space.
I do one thing I have learned though.
Mhm.
1 from coaching, 2 from being someone around is that the difference in some things is wanting to be coached,
Mhm.
willing to be coached, willing to coach yourself, willing to put in the extra effort. That is something that you can't coaches can't forecast that Monday through Friday you do one thing and you get out there and do the exact opposite. And you see it in I see it when I watch the men's basketball team.
We'll throw the break. I'm gonna and I'm putting it in the air so we remember to talk about it. It's in constantly choosing people who won't do those things. Like if you're doing all that stuff, coaching Jay Foreman is much easier than coaching somebody else.
Right.
I have to be able to coach them both.
Yeah, but you don't know.
Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Hold your thought. We'll bring it back. Rico, your rant is up. You can tell
Hurry
us
up,
what's
Rico.
up. In the next segment here on Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Southeast Community College has learning centers in Falls City, Hebron, Nebraska City, Plattsmouth, Wahoo, and York so that you can take credit and non-credit classes at a center nearby without having to travel an hour or more to campus. By taking online classes and those at a learning center, you can earn your degree from SCC where and when it's convenient for you, all at a cost that won't stand in the way of your education. Learn more about SCC's learning centers at southeast.edu/learning centers. SCC, your path to possible.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual planter clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, Nebraska, February 23rd and 24th. Landmark's planter clinic offers expansive equipment training and important information on new and updated technology for this planting season. Learn more about AMS documentation and guidance, row unit and meter settings, and soil moisture monitoring options. Join us February 23rd and 24th in Hastings, RSVP by calling your local Landmark.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Waiter. Good. Welcome back to Old School, 93.7 The Ticket. Jay Foreman, Rico, myself, you. All of us just hanging out. Sometimes we wake up in the morning, we slept late or we worked late and we didn't get the news. Rico's here to set the table for us and tell us what's up.
This morning and I got out of bed, had a big old cup of coffee to clear my head. Telephone rang and you wanna chat? Well, sit on down and tell me what up with that.
Get him, Rico. What's up?
This one might actually be a little bit serious.
Okay.
We can get into it in whatever segment if you want to carry it over.
Okay.
Russian ice skater.
Oh, yeah.
So you're one of the few that watched the Winter Olympics.
I'm not even watching the Winter Olympics. I'm watching little bits, pieces here and there.
Good for you.
Shout out to the two Americans that won in the bobs. It's like the single bobsled, but it wasn't the weird sled. It was the like actual thing. Whatever.
You're so funny.
Russian. I don't remember what it was called. Russian figure skater. She's like 17, whatever. Gets popped for doping.
15 years old.
She gets popped for doping. Goes before the committee. And they're like, you know what? You can still compete while we're, trying to decide your fate. Whatever. And I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but I know how I feel about it. Sha'Carri Richardson got popped for marijuana and they were just like, yeah, no, you can't compete in the Olympics. You can't do it. We're not even no. I mean, they had like the review session, whatever, and they're like, yeah, you can't compete in the Olympics. But this 15-year-old, 12-year-old gets popped for a performance-enhancing drug and is told, yes, you can still compete while we review your what's the when you get caught for something, her appeal. That's what while we review your appeal, you can still compete, and you might even win, whatever, while we review your appeal. And I just don't understand the whole process behind everything.
Well, I mean,
and I understand what Sha'Carri did was still, it was still, the marijuana use is prohibited by USATF, and the IOC went and whatever came back and like, yeah, you can't compete because it's still illegal, even though it was legal in Oregon where she did it. Whatever. That's not a performance enhancing drug. I know it's still legal. Whatever. This
Are you talking
Russian
about the
person,
hieroglyphics?
yes, this Russian lady should not be allowed to compete, right? Like I don't think I'm going too far as saying,
so the Russian Olympic team shouldn't be allowed to compete because
technically it's not Russia, it's the Russian Olympic Committee.
It's just like the Washington football team investigation.
Yeah.
The commanders didn't do it, but the organization, the people involved are the same. So the penalty should be the same for all of it. They should not be participating. She should not be participating. Now, when things don't make sense in sports, the answer is usually money.
Follow the money.
Right? It's usually money. And that's what this is. So the people who are there, and to think that judges are unaffected and that the people who are running these things are unaffected. No, it's simply not true, because think about it. That's a big tab to pay to run Olympics. That's a big bill to pay. And those countries that want to participate, they pay. And if you really want to participate, especially when you have the money, they pay. That's where this is, and it's eye opening. Like it's there. I've been watching the Olympics, and I slid a little to the other side, and that Erin Jackson becomes the first Black woman to win a speed skating gold.
She was the first Black woman or first woman to win an individual gold.
Black woman.
Okay.
So, but where it was, and I listened to people so weird. So she said, I participate in a sport where I'm the only person that looks like me. There's nobody like me around me.
Right.
And people got upset by that. And they went, no, she's just, stop telling people not to tell their reality. This woman, like, she's the best when you say world champion, she's literally the best in the world at this thing.
It's true.
And she represents you. You should probably just applaud and move on your way. Like, don't get into, hey, why she defined herself as Ghanaian American. Because her parents from Ghana. Like,
yes.
okay.
That's what she is.
Like, come on.
They try to get
you created the hyphen. You created the hyphen. So chill out. Like, let's just celebrate the Olympic. We have a gold medal Olympian. who represented us at the highest level in a sport that is not natural to her or us.
Right.
And she's excelled in it.
I just hope to get to the point. I don't mean to cut you off in anything that, whether it's Olympic sports, regular, or I won't say regular sports, but coaching. A big deal in the NFL is, not the lack of diversity, or even heck, I'm gonna be honest with you, the lack of diversity at the University of Nebraska, right? You'd like to be to a point to where, no, this is being honest,
right?
I like to get to the point to where it's not even mentioned,
right?
Like, say like they hire Jay Foreman as the coach, right? It's just Jay Foreman's a good coach. He's qualified. It don't matter that he's an African-American coach. And we just, upset everybody that we got an African-American coach at said sport. Or in the NFL, I think there's 6 teams that have never had an African-American as a head coach or even a coordinator or something like that, right? Just have good coaches, right? And it's on the flip side too. So say I'm a African-American head coach in the NFL, I want to hire the best coach, right? Yeah, I'm going to give everybody black, white, and different. I'm going to hire female, don't matter. I want the best coach because my job is to coach.
The word is in fair inclusion.
Right.
It's like
I want everybody. I want a bunch of good coaches.
Like just fair inclusion is all anybody wants. So we'll pick that up as well. We'll continue that
Also,
at 9:00 hour.
Sorry, I just wrote is the
9
monobob.
o'clock, man.
Monobob.
Yeah.
Gold and silver.
You could have told me that at 9:04.
No, I had to get that in.
Man, you just
gold
special.
and silver.
We're going to break. We'll come back top of the hour, new hour of Old School on 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual planter clinic at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings, Nebraska, February 23rd and 24th. Landmark's planter clinic offers expansive equipment training and important information on new and updated technology for this planting season. Learn more about AMS documentation and guidance, row unit and meter settings, and soil moisture monitoring options. Join us February 23rd and 24th in Hastings, RSVP by calling your local Landmark.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Windy but warm here for our Tuesday. We'll see south winds gusting over 35 at times, but pushing an afternoon high up to 64. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy with a low dropping down to 32. A fast-moving cold front, though, will usher in much colder air tomorrow, only a high of around 36. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
You hear that? That's the sound of extremely tender and delicious beef from certified Piedmontese. Prime grade tenderness with a fraction of the fat and calories of normal beef. It's Nebraska-raised product and the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. Change the way you buy beef today at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, just north of 84th and Havelock, or at cpmercado.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Life was a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, who was that made that sound?
Adrian
Jolly.
Oh, okay.
Rest in power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another linebacker. Another linebacker. Hey, you got to get excited when you see LBs get their hands on the ball.
Every
and go to the
time.
house
That's
call.
such a great note.
Well, that's why we left it in, because it's kind of a tribute.
You got to pay homage.
It's
The
a
real-
tribute,
yeah,
right? Right, like to do that. So 424-645-6685. You can join us. Sartor Hamann text line, Honda Lincoln hotline if you want to join the party. The Sartor Hamann video stream is up. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can see what's going on. You can actually listen to the show there if that's what you want to do. Yeah, it's big. So the thing we were talking about with player accountability, right? That coaches could coach and do everything that a coach thinks he knows to do, should do, can do. And at some point, the player has to execute. The player has to execute.
Yeah.
But then the question becomes, especially at a high level, right? And I think there's a difference between a high school coach and a professional coach or a college Power 5 coach. That the Power 5 coach needs to find a way to motivate his motivated players and his not motivated players.
Well, here's what I'd ask you, though.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what do you think? Like, so for us, or at least
he said us.
Well, because
He
we're
said
older. I mean, we definitely we were coached different. We didn't have we didn't have Uncle Johnny, handling our affairs ever since we're 10 years old and AAU and all this other stuff. So,
fair.
We were always told to figure it out and stop being a chump. So I think that's totally different. So, a motivating thing for me or us was the fear of failure, right? I think I hated to lose more than I like to win. Fear of, not being good enough. And then also a great motivator was sitting on the bench and watching. Like, what do you think is the biggest motivator for kids? Because I think it's different based on where you're at or where they're maybe brought up, and then maybe who they were, kind of the environment they were brought into. Because
all that's true. Like but that's to me, that's what coaching is.
Well, you got to find it, but then
right, like,
but how? I'll ask you this, okay? So, say you're the coach at. Let me get up here. To say you're a coach at we're Maryland, right?
Okay.
It's DMV. Okay, so yeah, and so say Rico, is an AAU kid, social media kid, has 2 or 3 people constantly in his ear. So when Rico comes on as a recruiting trip, say mom, dad, or whatever, but then you have like these advisors or whatever with them, right? So that's who you're gonna deal with. Versus say like me, I'm Ramel Lloyd, right? NBA dad, high school environment, very, very structured, right? So, yeah, you're seeing two different things, and easier probably in assumption to coach me, right? Because you know what you're going to get, and you know
It's already in place.
It's already in place, and you know Ramel's dad is going to let you coach his son, and you know he's been coached, he's been pushed, and he's coming from a high school program that's structured. Like when they go to practice,
They go to work.
they go to work. They're traveling like pretty much like an NBA team, Sierra Canyon, or X, Y, and Z. So time management, structure, having hard conversations with them in the office is easier. Now here's Rico. How would you approach coaching Rico over there? And you not only got to coach him, but you got to try to coach other people that aren't physically there.
So
very high
in the places that I've coached.
Oh, you said it. I didn't.
In the places that I've coached, so I've coached the full extreme, right? So from the $1 million kid, the $1 million family, the rich family, the uninspired kid, to the super motivated poor kid. I've coached the full spectrum. My job is to figure out what moves Jay Foreman and Rico in their space for our collective space. So the individual work to a team mission. What I've always done, and my wife will vouch for this, and Barry Thompson will vouch for this. First thing I do with a team is I call the parents together.
Right.
And I have them at the house.
Yeah, so that's what you do on your recruiting trip, right? Yeah.
Have them at the house and said, listen, here are a couple of things that are in play. One, there is a mission. Now, your particular wants and needs are not more important than the team goal. Now, if you feel like what these peripheral people want more for their individual than I do, then you need to come coach every day. You need to be at practice every day. You need to do film study every day. You need to do what I do for your child in this space. Now, everybody shows up on game night and says, well, this is how this looks. Why is Rico
going off kilter?
Going off kilter. Well, ask Rico what we talked about at practice. Ask Rico to show you when we said we were going to go off script. What day of practice was it for Rico to go off script and go solo? Because I guarantee you that day didn't exist. And his answer is going to be, I did what I wanted to do. Well, selfish actions give you selfish reactions. That's a way to handle Rico.
Right.
I can give Rico what Rico needs to look the way he wants to look on social media. For him to excel, right? I can give him all the highlights if he, in fact, connects to Jay Foreman and allow Jay Foreman to do what Jay Foreman does best, and measure Rico by Jay Foreman's work.
Right, but that's
like
if
I
you're
need
winning.
to get right. But that's,
what if you're losing?
If I'm losing, I do the same thing because the mission is the same. Ultimately, in all this stuff, winning is like on my coaching on my coaching pyramid. Winning is the thing. Now, I never talk about winning. I simply talk about the things that lead you to winning. I've never won to win into a season. I won 78% of the games I've ever coached. All of them. Why? Because we don't do stupid stuff and we do everything together. Right? Connected players, connected smart players do connected smart player stuff.
Right.
Now, Jay Foreman's work will rain down on Rico. You know why? Because I'm going to put you two together.
Right.
See, and Rico can't run next to you and then expect all the same accolades that you do, putting in 40% of the work.
Right.
Like, that's simple. If I put you in Rico's space, you're going to push the creative side. You'll understand it. Oh, you like the ball here, player. Okay, playboy. I'm gonna give it to you when you like it, right? We're gonna high five when we're done, and then we'll get back to work so we can get to the next one. You will convince Rico that if he works harder, he'll have more of the moments that he wants to have. Right? You can move him and get in corners with him in places that I can't. Y'all gonna be sitting in the locker room. I'm gonna be in the coach's office. Y'all gonna be in the locker room. And if he's goofing off and you are ready to sweat, you are already sweating from getting prepared, he has to come with you. I can walk in and say, Rico, how come you're not ready? Your work would have already, if I've connected you to, already drawn him there.
Right.
There's a string between you and Rico. When you move, Rico has to move.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, essentially, what you're for people out there, in short, what you're saying is that the best coaching job is when the locker room polices the players.
Yeah, and I have to give responsibility and access to my hardest workers. Again, on every team that I've ever been on, there are players that I choose. There's the best player, the guy who from God above and a lightning bolt gave him everything that's required to play the sport. Then I need the smartest player, the actual player with the highest IQ. Then I need the hardest worker. I need the guy who, quite frankly, will run through the wall and then rebuild the wall simply because. And then I need my worst player has to be the guy who loves this game so much that he will do anything I ask him to do. He'll do anything the game is required.
Right.
Those are my 4 pillars of coaching, because whatever I need, right? And that last dude is also my academic guy, right? He's the one that makes sure that when somebody needs help, when somebody's struggling, they can go to him and get right. I'm just sitting in the middle. Those 4 pillars hold the fence up. The gate becomes connected in you sharing as the best athlete and you sharing as the most creative guy. When you guys piece those things together, no matter what happens in a game, no matter what sport it is, you guys know what's required to win. Somebody in the room, shared IQ. What Jay knows about football is everything. What Rico knows about football is everything. But it's the shared IQ that makes great teams.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff I'm talking about. And when you look at coaches who go through and you have everybody in Power 5 has talent. Literally every team in Power 5 has talent.
You're not playing against.
Right?
It's not like the Big Ten isn't like when 15 years ago Northwestern they were like essentially a D2 team.
Yep.
They got for real players and guys that are going to get shots at playing at the next level, whether it's the G League or be able to go overseas. And so, there's a thin line between winning and losing. And, whether it's football, basketball, a lot of it has to be the true and intrinsic leadership. But I think also you got to have a bunch of guys. You got to have a high percentage of guys that want to be led, going around and like constantly rehabbing guys and stuff like that. You'll spend more time if you have a high percentage of those guys. You'll spend way more time dealing with them versus dealing with the guys that want to be led. And so that's where the outside environment is. And sometimes I think whether it's social media or just the way that people are just wired different, or maybe they come from, I heard somebody say, they come from the Y generation, whereas we wouldn't ask why. They want, they're asked why, you explain, you answer their question.
Why are you here?
And then they'll ask why again. So you never really get anywhere. And sometimes I think that correlates to sports, right? Mm-hmm. You could sit there and watch a football game or a basketball game and like, why did he do that? Well, he probably like asked 4 or 5 times why he shouldn't do it, but he's asked so many times why he shouldn't do it that he actually believes he should do it.
It's a pre-program.
And so that's the hardest thing to do. And sometimes when you're not winning at the clip that would force you to be in line, then you feel like, okay, well, if here's an old adage, right? If you're a good player on an average or crappy team, you think you're a great player when actually you're still just a good player. And then when you go to like New England, say you go from, let's just say back in the day, you go from Cleveland back when they went like, 0-16 or whatever, and you were the guy, and then you go to New England,
fall in line,
and if you don't, and that's where you see some of like the New England. This is not to get off track, but this is just talking about team building. When you see a lot, like I remember when New England signed from Baltimore, Delius Thomas, and when the last year in Baltimore, I mean, he had like 3 picks, 1 to the crib, 10 sacks, I mean, he was up for the defensive player of the year, and it seemed like a match made in heaven. And Baltimore was always been good, but New England was that team, right? You know, because they were obviously going to Super Bowl, it seemed like every year. And if there ever was on paper or in theory a guy that would go to New England and go next level, because they were thinking about him being better than Willie McGinnis and kind of replacing Willie McGinnis, because I think Willie McGinnis at that time had went to Cleveland, right, or was on his way to Cleveland, where Bill Belichick would take a guy and, you know, 1 week you're playing defensive end. Next week you might be playing 3 technique. Then you might be playing middle linebacker. You see it with Jamie Collins, right? And then next thing you know, you got 7 sacks, 4 picks, and all that other stuff. Well, the personality didn't match up, and he didn't get out of his own way. So sometimes, like, when you fans are watching this and seeing and asking some of these questions, you know, feeling the punt on a half-yard line and all that other stuff, you know, it's more of a personal issue, and you know, because it's some of the things that guys have. I mean, these are choices.
But when you see a player who practices a certain way and then decides in game that he's going to go rogue, what's the likelihood that that player didn't show any of that at practice in high volume?
I would tell you this. If you asked me this a year ago, I would say there's no way he hadn't done that 20 times. You know what I mean? I would say you had seen it. Now, oh, it's definitely lights, camera, action. I'm about to do what I do.
But then this leads me to this, and it's kind of what the basketball thing came out, right? That you don't rebound well, right? And every coach from the outside to anybody outside will say, we work on it, we work on it, we work on it. But are you working on it? And are you working on it at a high enough repetition and volume and depth that you're actually going to see the tendency? Like if you run a thing 10 times, as Rashawn likes to say, you guys ran plays and ran plays and ran plays and ran plays until you were sick of running that same play. But that's why you were effective at that play, because you ran it so much.
That's what Alabama does.
Right? But for special teams or in those specialty situations, people are doing things because they haven't repped it enough to not do that thing. Like, you can't tell me that you've caught 100 punts that week, every week for your entire season, and then you get out there on a game day and do what you want to do. That's not how that works. That just means you haven't seen at a high enough volume and repetition what this person is going to do under live conditions in that space.
I don't know. No, that's 100% factual, not true.
Okay, how so?
Well, in particular, I've seen him be coached what to do, not to do, been in some of those meetings and see it executed for weeks on end, obviously because of that game.
Then would that mean that the coach picked the wrong person?
Well, eventually one back there. But you only can make you only can make the decision in a relationship based on what they show you. Now, once they get in the relationship, they start doing something different. Then you got to make a decision. So that's just where it's at. And I'm not bashing on any players.
No. It's
also with basketball as well. It's like, you know, like you said, you know what to do, but are you willing to do it when you're not being coached to do it? When you don't, like DP's out here returning punts, right? And I'm back here coaching and say, okay, look, okay, today we got a east wind and it's about 10 miles an hour and they're punting. So the ball's going to come out a little bit flat because, you know, they got the wind behind you or you're punting into the wind. So they listen up. We got to be 10 yards before, you know, ahead of, 10 yards closer because we're punting into the wind. You know, it's going to come down different. It might start turning end over end, you know. So when we're in practice and I'm even from the sideline to where you're at, you can hear me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the things that you need to be putting in your memory bank as you run out there on, you know, every single play in practice. But once you get out there in the game, if you were just hearing me and not listening, then you get out there and then you just kind of, it's almost like
that's where
caught by surprise.
That's where good coaching and adaptations
but you can't. But if somebody's choosing not to,
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you in this space.
Right.
That once you find out that he's not that dude,
you got.
She's not a dude, then you got to make a decision.
Right. But then the fans can't be mad if you just got to do back there to actually make the catch.
Right. Well, because
it's feast or famine. Because what you had before, you were complaining. You can't complain on both ends.
Then I'll ask.
I call that playing tennis.
Well, but
an argument,
and I get
and not
that,
losing a point.
Right. I get that. But then I want to know if I have a player for 3 years, 12 months a year, 10 months a year.
Right.
And he wants to return kicks. Right? He wants to return kicks. We want for him to return kicks. You know the one thing I don't have to coach? Repetition. Because he can go get repetition and catching football in 10 months of different weather conditions, different times of the day.
Right.
He can, like, if
Yeah.
you,
I think
like,
it's
he
more
can
mental.
make an excuse,
Yeah.
or he can make a way. Like we
Yeah.
talked about Cooper Kupp and how hard the work has been for him to learn the things that he needed to learn, even when he didn't have the
But that's
conditions,
it's
circumstances
also,
to do it.
Yeah, but it's yeah. I mean, it's all inclusive.
Like if I told you,
it's all inclusive.
if
It's
they
just
told
a
you,
different
Jay
type
Foreman,
of kid.
we're going to move you to fullback, you would get to work immediately.
Yeah, kicking and screaming too.
Right. Like you were going to go immediately.
Yeah.
If I tell Rico he's going to play fullback, Rico going to find a way. Look, I got something else to do.
Yeah. Right. But see, it's a little different because
if you want to put me in fullback, we got another problem.
That part.
it's a little different because the environment that I came into as an 18-year-old kid is different than the environment that these kids come into, for the simple fact that its times are different. The state of the program is different. The leadership is different, or was different. I think they actually have really good leadership now, or potentially have really good true I don't know if the right word to say is intrinsic leadership. Again, people, I'm out here trying to work on my vocabulary.
Go ahead, Jay Foreman.
Not really, but
go ahead, Jay Foreman.
True, really down and dirty leadership, right? I think they have that, or have the potential to have that, and I think that's why I feel confident that the team will be better in wins and losses, because you have guys that I think this is just my opinion, and I had this opinion even when Grandpa Mike was around, right? And so you had some guys that were truly invested, like the right way, and then you had some pulling the other way, right? And if it's 50-50, then you kind of you just kind of just out there being average. Now you can deal with that when it's like 80-20, 90-10, because essentially the 90%, 80%, and even in case of 70% is just going to overwhelm that other percentage, and then you're going to convert some of those guys because they're eventually going to just figure it out and just say, you know what, I'm going to stop fighting and I'm going to do it. So big thing is leadership, especially in college football, because of the limited amount of time that the coaches are allowed to be around the players and with the players. It's what I think at least 20 hours a week. That's not a lot of time when you're thinking about practicing. You got meetings, and that includes, I think, weight room and stuff like that. So when you have guys that are able to truly, police the locker room, and guys that are actually take it a step further, the guys that are policing the locker room are policing it for the right reasons, and are one of the guys that are truly invested, that's when it tends to work out well. So it's definitely not an easy task, but I think that they're, set up for, the most part to do well. And then, when it comes to basketball, I think it's, Big Ten's hard, and it's an ever evolving type of. One thing I've learned about it, and I go to basketball, both men's and women's, is that it's an ever evolving sport, especially in the Big Ten, because the teams that were really, really good last year, and even if they're good this year, they are attacking you differently. They're still good, but they're totally different. So you're not rolling out there against Illinois this year thinking it's the same team from last year. So it's, you're constantly having to adjust, and sometimes you're always on your heels versus being, the aggressor and being on your toes.
I like I said, I think the whole concept of watching the good programs here at the University of Nebraska versus and the ones that are having success versus the ones that didn't or aren't, and the conversation becomes clear in work. Work is the answer to most of the things that we have questions about. With the word break, more old school 93.7 The Ticket when we come back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see: glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
This is Old School on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Old School. Yeah, this is a day that you guys should probably want to be in studio during the breaks, because this is when the sausage gets made. Right? Do you understand that there are players who it's what Jay was talking about, that you can run sequences at practice, and then there are people who will get out there on game day and just say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you like this. There's always that thing that goes around during Thanksgiving where it was a family. A big thing for, at least for me, is macaroni and cheese, and always been in our family. And there's a certain way that certain families like to make it. And there was and I love it. I laugh so much every time I see it, where the daughter, was her chance to make the recipe, or make the macaroni and cheese. She had the recipe, and all you got to do is just do what it says on the sheet. What's been going on probably ever since she was a little girl, right? And it's her chance to step up. And it's like a badge of honor if you make good macaroni, right? And so she decided to put like blue cheese or make it different, right? So then the mom was mad because it was garbage, and told her that she messed up everybody's Thanksgiving and was cussing her out while she was drinking like wine, and said, you know what? Just for the fact that you messed up the macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving, you clean it up by yourself. So the premise of the story is, don't show up to a game and try a new recipe of macaroni and cheese. Just do it regular macaroni and cheese, and it all tastes good.
Do what it says.
Do what it says. So I think that I think a lot
Tried
of
and true.
tried and true.
Like decades of working.
Right. This ain't the time to try a new move out here in front of 20,000 people.
Well,
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
It's
You're not that guy, pal.
Right.
It's Joe Pesci, right? You just go, you mean that you have the only kitchen in America where grits take 15 minutes to cook.
Right.
Like you everywhere else, you found the only space in the entire universe where grits don't cook like they do anywhere else.
Hey man, it's
the like basketball, when you watch basketball and football, especially the big sports, and you see things that it's one of my favorite coaching phrases: uncomfortable movement. Right? You've seen players who are fluid and good.
Right.
And then you see somebody out there moving in a way that is so unnatural to them or to that act.
Sure.
That you go, as a matter of fact, officiating will tell you, we watch for unnatural movement. Right?
Right.
Basketball, football, baseball, whatever, it all flows until it doesn't flow. And when it doesn't flow, then your eyes are drawn to it and you go, okay, that was odd.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're not that guy.
Like, that's a penalty. Like, oh, you know, I'm supposed to move that way. How do you get top level athletes, or let me strike that, Power 5 athletes, not top level athletes, Power 5 athletes? How do you get them? How would you get them to act in unison?
Oof, I don't know. If that was the case, I'd be on staff, right? Or I'd be head coach. Then I would have the answers. I don't know. I think I'm a big believer. A lot of it's personal choice. I think if these kids are old enough to know right from wrong, and you're trying to just lead them in the way, I mean, that's a hard thing. I got a ton of respect for coaches because, obviously everybody's like, oh, they get paid handsomely and they put in a ton of hours. But, you work on something all week, and then you got to sit on the sidelines with the hope that they execute the things that you've been trying to teach them all week, and that's the hard thing to do it. So the way I would do it is just, I think every year you have to start at scratch, even if you have the same team. It's almost like I read this story about Nick Saban, what he does with his high star guys or all his recruiting classes. He comes in and de-stars them, gets them in the program, and then obviously
Belichick. I'm gonna humble you.
And then he builds them back up. And this isn't hazing, this isn't anything, but it's like literally starting you at the bottom where you need to be, and then you got to work your way up. So I just think maybe that. I think individually you got to coach them. But then I'm a big believer that the locker room kind of helps that as well, just because we've had experience with that even when I was at Nebraska in the 90s, where you had some guys that came in that were supposed to be all this and all that, and they just didn't make it. Odell James was a big time recruit, and ended up going to Baylor, and it was kind of one of those things that I think on the recruit trip, players told him like this ain't gonna be a good fit, no matter how good he is, right? T. Martin came, and he almost got beat up because he was talking about going to Auburn and Tennessee and all that. That ain't gonna work. So it's just the way it is. It's just like some guys just don't, make it. I remember being in the spring and Brian Knuckles coming from Coffeyville Community College at JUCO, and I think obviously Mike Rozier came from there, and literally he was, everybody's like he was going to be taking Lawrence Phillips' job, And then the reality came that Lawrence was everything that you read about. But then there was Clinton Childs, then there was Damon Benning, then there was Amon Green, and then there was Jay Sims, who was like 6th on the depth chart, that had the, and then you had to work. Then you had to have the discipline. Then you had to put in extra work, and it was extremely physical. And it didn't last that long. So it's just the way it goes. And so big create environment that creates good peer pressure. And you got to really try to dive in and recruit the kid as much as the athlete. And sometimes it's even more about the kid than his athletic ability, because I think every coach has the idea that you could be that coach to get the most out of this guy.
But you have to try.
90% of the time it doesn't work out.
But you have to try.
But you can't build your team around all those guys. Those can be the one-offs, right?
Yeah. We'll stick with this when we come back. I think figuring out how to get players to play together.
I think a big thing is, one of the big things I talked to a lot of the players about everything besides football.
Well, that's how you get there. It's the conversation we were having earlier.
Then
you've got to get people on the same page.
Yeah. Then if I got to raise the roof on you, then you understand it's coming from a good place.
Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll stay there, because I really want to work this thing through, is to figure out what it is that some coaches are able to do with players and get them to play together, and some can't. We'll figure that out on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop, located at 5001 O Street.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arnn. In basketball, the Lincoln Lutheran girls team won its first game in the sub-districts over Raymond Central 69-44. Kennedy Ailes scored 20 points for the Crusaders in the win. Their next game will be against Lincoln Christian on Tuesday. In boys basketball over the weekend, Bennington edged out a win over Lincoln Christian 61-58. Lincoln Christian won against Lord CC 59-52. Lincoln Southwest rolled Omaha Northwest 84-63. Helms led Southwest with 17 points. Miller North took down Lincoln Pius X 67-49. The Hastrader brothers combined for 36 points in the loss. Omaha Central dominated against Lincoln North Star 74-40. Waverly beat Omaha Gross 60-51. Harms had a strong night offensively for Waverly with 19 points. In swimming on Saturday, the Lincoln Southwest boys repeated as the Heartland Athletic Conference champion. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Windy but warm here for our Tuesday. We'll see south winds gusting over 35 at times, but pushing an afternoon high up to 64. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy with a low dropping down to 32. A fast-moving cold front, though, will usher in much colder air tomorrow, only a high of around 36. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, I do want to bring that up. We were talking about it last night. Black History Awareness and Education. The women's basketball team had commemorative uniforms. Gorgeous, right?
I need one.
They are well. So I asked Seamus. I asked the athletic department when the men played in theirs. I'm like, okay, are those going to be made available for sale? And he goes, no, it's just the players. So, jokingly, a whole other conversation, right? Of why that's a really
like they do know they're like when they don't make uniforms available for the public, they're missing out on tons of money, right?
Huge money. Like even the shirts, even the shooting shirts.
The shirts are nice.
Like even order, but so
just the shorts.
Said no. So then when during Ashley Slow last week, we were talking about the new uniform. And I was like, okay, I'm going to need one of those uniforms. And she said, well, they won't be available and you can't have mine. I'm like, why not? She goes, well, it's the first time here that I've ever played in a Husker uniform with my name on it. Right. And the men have their names on it.
Mm-hmm.
The women do not.
No, they do not.
And I was like, what is crazy? Like, I hadn't even know until she said it. I'm like, well, first of all, I felt bad. Like, I can't even ask for you that this is the first one. It's the only one with your name on. Like, and until, like, even the ones that are retired don't have their names on it. They just have the number.
Well, because that's what they wore.
Right. And I was just like, what is
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
But I mean, it might be a tradition because didn't Penn State for a while didn't have their names on it or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but I mean, the men's program has their names on the jersey. Baseball have their names on the jersey. Football have their names on the jerseys.
But it might have just been something that they always done. Obviously,
they've always had it like that. I mean, I do hate the "it's always been done" thing.
Right. Like I tend to go
like you said with Penn State for the longest time, and then was it Brian? What's his name? Coach Bill O'Brien.
Well, there were several
put the
teams,
names on the back.
Several teams that put
the
the school name on the back, right? So it's a school name, and so you don't play for the name on the front. That old, like, okay, smack yourself for it.
Don't
just smack yourself for saying.
Army does that, right?
Right,
just says Army, but that's
it must not happen. But because even when like Deion took over Jackson State, that was one of the things he talked about. He was like, I'm putting their last names on their jersey.
It makes you accountable to it.
Yeah, but it's like, well, it's not as odd as
it's not weird.
It's not weird because just up at Deion's been there for what, a season or two? Like
change the culture.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like I found it interesting.
I always do hate that whenever they play like another women's squad and they have like the names on the back. I'm just like, I get it, but I wish like it.
I'd be talking junk. I'd be like, man, you ain't even that good. You ain't got your name on your jersey,
right? Like what you knew? Like
that jersey's just going to the next person.
I'd be like, how many people wore your jersey?
Like
you ain't got your name on.
Like not just yours, like that exact
jersey.
Yeah, like it was
stuff
just
all faded and stuff.
Yeah, like it's just weird, right? But that she was aware that she's never had a Nebraska jersey with her name on it. I was like, okay.
They know.
But, okay, so for whoever makes this decision, I'll rant for a second before we go to break. Dear whoever, first of all, sell more jerseys. Offer more jerseys. Offer more jerseys. You know what you can do now as a part of NIL is now, if you put that person's name on it, that gives them a chance to make more revenue. Like, how about then you actually get paid from the jerseys that have your name on it, and you and the university split? Like, the university's still going to make their money,
Yeah.
right? But then the player, if you like Major League Baseball, like WWE, like football, jersey sales matter. So then you're tracking this stuff.
Right.
You're tracking this stuff. Get this. This is college. Aside from COVID, you're going to turn over those jerseys every 3 years anyway. So you're giving a new group of 150. Look, you're going to sell the jerseys of 75 dudes who never play. They're just they have some mythical number that they're going to use one day when they walk into Memorial Stadium, and their entire hometown and family are going to buy that jersey forever and ever and ever. Think about that expansion of jersey sales across every program. Every program, that it is a constant turnover of business. Constant turnover of supply and demand. Right? All the Schwellenbach jerseys would now become Cam Chick jerseys or Kyle Perry jerseys. And then those will go from being Kyle Perry to Drew Christo in 2 years. And you could just keep selling them. Right? You got one shot to sell the McGowan's jerseys. You could have paired them both. You could have done a split. You could have put two numbers on the same jersey. Everybody would have bought it. You could have, you could have made a Goggles jersey. You could have, there's a ton. Like, you could
thought about that one immediately.
Immediately, I would have bought that. Like, if they offered right now the Jay Foreman, like that midriff 40, like that midriff mesh jersey,
right?
It would not stay on the racks of any store in the entire state of Nebraska. And as a matter of fact, outside of Nebraska, everybody who loves Nebraska football or who loves college football would buy your cutoff midriff mesh shirts.
It's true.
Mesh jerseys.
I'd have bought it.
I just said that because I love y'all. Okay, we'll throw the break. Rico, question when we come up next.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
Old Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
The past year and a half has been a challenge.
we've been reminded of the importance of following health and safety guidance from medical experts. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the NSCA. As teachers, our goal is to keep our schools open and our students in the classroom, because we know in-person teaching and learning is best for our students. We need your help to keep our kids healthy and learning.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Back to old school with DP and J.
Rico, turn it up, Rico. Let's go old school, baby. Sugar Hill Gang.
Somebody let me know. Will everybody in the place put a whistle in your face, screaming out and say, yo, yeah.
That is old. Rico, did you grow up on this?
No.
Okay, I ain't
This is me in the dorm. This is me in college. Like any time of day you walk through, Sugar Hill was playing somewhere. Plus they put in kazoos. They're kazoos. All right, so we've come up with the idea before Rico's question, Dave. We come up with the idea, and I'm going to open one-on-one with this as well. So
Okay.
just for the record. But here's the idea.
And let us know how you feel.
Right? Text line, let us know whether you're in or out on this. That the athletic department launches the throwback edition of Husker jerseys. The throwback edition. So all of those old jerseys, we bring back those Huskers, right? Jay in his cutoff. We get Johnny, you get Jet in his, like all these guys. And they do a full launch of all the old jerseys. Now, those jerseys will outsell whatever jerseys they're currently selling 50-fold.
Yeah.
50-fold, not even close.
Yeah,
And
like
then,
Phrase and
right,
Crouch and all that.
right? Just imagine all of those jerseys in the style in which they existed, or at least some replica of it, right?
Right.
Right? You do that, kind of the Mitchell and Ness version of it. But
Oh,
you're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do- right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
The throwback edition. And you can do it in all the programs. You can for baseball, you do it like you can do it. Then at the beginning of each year, in order to connect the current program and make them accountable to the legends, that anybody that wears the number of a legend, so you bring in Jay Foreman and whoever's wearing 56 or 44, you take a picture from the old to the new, right? And it's Jay handing it over to them, right? Imagine Jay taking his jersey and handing it to that, right? That young dude, and that dude got to look at Jay Foreman and go, either I want to wear this jersey or I'm not, right? Like, cause
Take it back, right?
Right. You imagine Jason Peter handing some young buck his jersey and going, if you will take this jersey, you better mean it.
Right, yeah.
Right. You better. So that's the idea. We'll talk about it on one-on-one. Rico, what's your question?
All right. My question, topical, Martise Ivy. All right. Came from Omaha Central. She is number 3 on the Nebraska career scoring list for women. 2,131 points.
Wow.
So obviously that's not the question.
Wow.
What did she average points
They
scoring?
said it last night, so
Per
it would
game?
be cheating.
Yes, per game. You remember?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They said it last night in her presentation at court, like when she was on the floor. They did a big presentation.
Okay, well then, well, fine. How about this one? It's 19.2, by the way.
Yeah.
Number 8 on Nebraska's career rebounding list. She was 5'9". How many rebounds did she have?
I also know that.
Damn
Right in front
it.
of me. Sorry, bro.
Total?
87, 88, 430 something.
532.
Way
600? 700?
Oh no. Okay. It's just under. It's 777 or
778.
Okay, not bad. Okay, fair. They did a nice presentation. They showed her back in the day hitting somebody with a behind the back move on the wing, and I was like, matter of fact, Martise looked like she can still play, like right now.
Yeah, She's number 2 single game scoring. How much did she score? December 30th, 1986 against Illinois.
44. She hit him for more than 45?
Wow.
One more.
46.
Wow. Okay, lady. Ivy.
I'm just out here doing what
Hey,
you just out here in the way.
Bat, just killing people. Like they called 911.
Right. She had 104 career blocks.
Man, it's just-
5'9".
Somebody is at the Vantage Center wearing somebody out. Call them. Here's my uncle. Somebody call the police.
But call somebody because I'm destroying you tonight.
Big 8 player of the year in 88, 3-time first team all Big 8, 86, 87, 88.
Yeah. This is beautiful. Jay, just for the record, the text line says, listen, they do this. He said, these dudes say, I'm gonna go broke buying jerseys. They do this.
I heard that.
Look, as long as they give me credit for the idea.
Yeah, John says he's going to email Trev, see if he gets a response.
As long as they give me credit for that. No. Like, look,
Email Trev. Hey, Trev, I got an idea for you.
Right. Like,
you don't got nothing else to do but listen to me, okay?
Can you imagine Trev gets like 50 emails
God.
like,
oh, you know what?
Former player, current player. Let's go.
Hey, listeners.
Email chain.
Email Trev.
Hey,
Everybody email Trev. Everybody email Trev. Do it. Do it now. All right. Jay Foreman, thank you, bro.
That's crazy.
Rico, we got work to do. 101 coming up next here. 93.7 The Ticket. Trev, we sorry, man. You about to get email bombed.